Wayne Swan has cut $34 billion to try and scramble back into the black, but he's also delivered some sweeteners to an electorate that's soured on the Gillard government. Business won't be happy. The promised tax cut has been cashed in for a battler's bonus, and those sorts of compromises are littered throughout this budget. Shortly, we'll take a look at the economics and politics of this budget, and I'll be speaking to the Treasurer and his shadow. But first, this summary from Mark Simpkin.
Wayne Swan expects to deliver Labor's first budget surplus in nearly a quarter of a century. Last time it happened, there was communism in Eastern Europe, apartheid in South Africa, and a new show called Seinfeld on American television. We're not back in the black just yet. It's a surplus forecast, not a surplus delivered. Right now, we're actually deeper in the red. This year's deficit's blown out to more than $44 billion. The government expects to turn that into a tiny but politically potent $1.5 billion surplus in just 12 months, with the surplus growing each year after that. So the surplus is thin, but the turnaround is massive. To achieve it, Wayne Swan's moved money around and found $34 billion in savings across the forward estimates.
Now, this delivers on the government's fiscal strategy, on time, as promised, and ahead of every other major advanced economy.
To keep the surplus promise, he's had to break other promises. Labor's abandoned the plan to cut the company tax rate. You could call it the relentless negativity dividend. The measure faced likely defeat in Parliament, and the upside of that is nearly $5 billion in savings. The government's also dropped its plans for a 50% tax discount on interest income, and its promise to give taxpayers a standard work-related expenses deduction. The government says the measure is no longer needed because it's raising the tax-free threshold. Superannuation changes that would have helped older Australians have been deferred, saving $1.4 billion. Australia's foreign aid budget will continue to grow, but at a reduced rate, delivering nearly $3 billion worth of aid to the budget bottom line. That'll cause some political ripples. Kevin Rudd certainly won't be impressed, but it's a decision to cut the company tax cut that's likely to make big waves.
Not at all. In fact, I've gone to extraordinary lengths to try and support and get through, in the environment that we are in, this one set company tax rate cut. But the fact is, it's the Liberal Party that has said that they won't vote for it.
As expected, defence spending's in the crosshairs. The military's expected to find nearly $5.5 billion in savings. Australian travellers will be slugged an extra $8 when they leave the country, and when they return, they won't be allowed to bring in as much duty-free alcohol and tobacco as before. Most of the pain will be felt by the wealthy. People earning more than $300,000 will pay twice as much tax on their superannuation, earning the government nearly $1 billion. The living away from home allowance paid to travelling executives will be further tightened, saving another $1 billion.
We've done the hard yakka in the changed conditions and all of the global headwinds that we've faced. We've still come back to surplus because we reckon it's the right thing to do.
While Wayne Swan is taking with one hand, he's giving with the other. The money saved by scrapping the company tax cut will go into a new benefits of the boom package worth $3.6 billion. A good chunk of that will be spent increasing payments made under the Family Tax Benefit Part A. Around 1 million families will receive at least an extra $300 a year. That's on top of the already announced school kids bonus, which is worth $2 billion over 5 years. All up, a family earning $85,000 with one child in high school and another in primary school can look forward to a combined payment of $1,830. There's also $1 billion in extra income for the unemployed, some students and low-income parents with young children. Singles will get an additional $210 a year, couples $350. They're not exactly the Howard government handouts Labor railed against, more like lower to lower middle class welfare. It's all means tested and targeted at poorer Australians. In addition, Labor's committed $1 billion to the first stage of a national disability insurance scheme. It'll start to be rolled out from July next year.
People with disability have waited too long for their need to be recognised and for a comprehensive policy response to be prepared. And I'm particularly proud of the inclusion of the money in the budget for that goal.
Hidden in the fine print is a potential time bomb. A forecast the state's GST take will fall by $11.5 billion over 4 years. That's likely to get the Liberal premiers screaming for a federal top-up. COAG meetings could be about to get ugly again. All up, this is something of a mixed message budget. Despite all the rhetoric about tough love and fiscal pain, there are spoonfuls of sugar to help the medicine go down. The government will deny it, but it's a recognition of Labor's poor poll position and community concerns about the cost of living and the carbon tax. Labor faces enormous distractions, but its challenge now is to sell its surplus and then deliver it.